She came to OSU in 1992 and has been a hallmark of stability for OSU athletics, serving as transitional leadership through 4 changes in athletic directors, including an interim athletic director for 2 recent transitions. Her work includes helping to create the targeted fundraising program called Women Leading OSU that supports the success on and off the field of female student athletes at OSU. In 2002, she contributed to the initiative that led to the reinstatement of the women's track and cross country program at OSU. More recently, Vydra played a key role in creating the Beavers Without Borders International Service Project, a program that helped end a program that helps send OSU athletes to locations around the world to provide assistance to communities in need. Marianne has been recognized nationally for her work, including recently being appointed to the NCAA Baseball Selection Committee. Only the second woman ever appointed in its history. For these contributions, we congratulate Marianne on receiving the Breaking Barriers in Athletics.
Thanks for this. First of all, I've been here, I started working when I was 12, so I'm not that old, but I want to thank all of you for being here because you're spending time. There's 2 things in this life that we don't get back: money, give it away, time, okay? So that's really, really important to me. I want to thank a few people. So when I got here in 1992, the place was really different. I almost didn't take the job. That's for my book. But I will tell you that the President's Commission on the Status of Women, I ran into a meeting, and I remember Stephanie Sanford. I'm going to say these names because they're real important to me. Stephanie Sanford, yep. I'm going to space. Alexis Walker, who has passed away, a really good friend of mine, right? Janet Lee, in Women's Studies, right? Mina Carson, who is in history. Who's the English professor who was at Kent State, and she is doing studies in Tunisia? Laura Rice. Sorry, I'm just nervous. Laura Rice is actually, I consider Laura Rice a spiritual sister. She and I could not be more different than any 2 people on the planet. We probably meet once a year, and she grounds me because Laura has this view on the world that is very different than anybody I know on this planet. And without those women in that room at that time, I don't know what I would have done. And that was the President's Commission on the Status of Women. It was really funny too, because they were going through, I just remember they had these computer sheets that were like this big, and guess what they were looking at? Salaries. So I went to, and I've been a little busy in the last couple of years, so I haven't, they were grateful, and they established an ex officio chair for athletics on the President's Commission for a lot of different reasons back then that no longer exist now. Thank goodness the university has advanced, it's great. However, I went to the retreat, and pay equity came up again. And I'm like, oh my gosh, we talked about this in 92, we're still talking about it in 2018, so let's do something. And we're not going to look at numbers, we don't need to look at numbers. We need to, I'm a little bit older and wiser, we need to look at policy and processes and things like that, so we can make change there. So I appreciate the leadership committee with the President's Commission in allowing us to, have the space to do that. We've had great conversations with Sherm Bloomer, Kim Kirkland, a lot of folks on campus. All these people didn't exist back then. There was no EOA office. There weren't all these support, there was no chief institutional diversity officer. We didn't have that. I mean, that's recent, right? So all these things are really, really important and good for the university. I want to thank Ed Reddy. Ed has championed me from the time I was 12. And I appreciate whatever you see in me, it's great. I love it, and I'm so appreciative of that. I was telling our little group today, I must have aged because we were talking about this balance of when you give people feedback when they're kind of going down the wrong path. All I have to do now is say, I'm disappointed. And then everything changes. I used to have to make all these arguments, but now all I have to say is, I'm disappointed. I want to thank Jackie Bruns for being here. I want to thank Diana Ulrey, my two sisters over in the athletic department. And I want to thank everybody here again for spending time. Got a little bit more work to do before I retire, and I hope we get that done. And I thank you for this honor. It's great. Thank you.